Alrighty, folks, I don't know if you've heard, but there are a couple of companies, one led by Tom Lee, that are trying to become the MicroStrategy or strategy of ETH. And I actually have no idea what Saylor has built over at MicroStrategy, being renamed Strategy. So I thought I would talk to somebody who knows something about it so I can understand the ins and outs and see if what Tom Lee's doing with ETH has any legs to stand on. Nick, thank you for coming back. Thank you for telling us your Bitcoin story. Let's remind people who you are, what you do, and then please educate me on what Michael Saylor is doing or has done with MicroStrategy.
Yeah, I'm Coach Nick Massey. I actually coached basketball for 20 years. I also invested in real estate. I'm currently a high school teacher, AP World History, and former real estate investor. I had small multifamily. I had created my own ADU out of the garage and was my own landlord, did the whole nine. I loved it. It was great. So I accidentally, or I don't know how to explain it, I met somebody that talked to me about Bitcoin and got me enthralled, started reading the Bitcoin Standard. And I said, okay, I really like this Bitcoin thing. I think it's going to take off. Has a lot of similarities to real estate. So I'm going to give it a shot. So I sold all my real estate, threw it all into Bitcoin.
And that kind of worked out for you, huh? Just kind of?
Yeah. I like being a Bitcoin millionaire. It sounds kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit. Multimillionaire. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Well, yeah, we got that whole story on record. You can find Nick's video from about 2 or 3 weeks ago where he tells the story of selling real estate, buying Bitcoin. So they can go back and watch that. But let's talk about Michael Saylor, right? Michael Saylor, probably the ultimate Bitcoin maximalist, right? If you're in Bitcoin or in crypto, you've undoubtedly seen a lot of his long form videos. He's very articulate. But I want to talk about what he's done to, or what was MicroStrategy's, I think now rebranded Strategy. And I'm a complete outsider. All I know is every time I turn around, he's buying more. It seems like he's issued zero coupon bonds to buy more. I think he's the largest holder of Bitcoin today at 800 some thousand coins. But what has he done? Because I think people are trying to copy him with Ether, and I don't know what Michael did. So what did he do?
Well, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they own a software business, a very prominent software business that many companies use. And he went through a thing where his stock was really high and it ended up just dropping, just totally lost value, caught in a little bit of a scandal financially, and he was trying to get back on the right track. And even though he was already a billionaire and rich, he wasn't really sure what direction he should go in. And one day, through conversations, he decided he wanted to go through this Bitcoin strategy, right? He even rebranded his MicroStrategy to called Strategy B. A lot of people think it's called Strategy B for Strategy Bank. One of the reasons they call it a bank is because they do have more Bitcoins than really anybody else does. If you count IBIT, they still have a few more than they do, but they have over 600,000
Wow.
Bitcoins. Yep. And they started from the beginning. They bought them early and they've been riding that volatility up and down, very stressful. But he always said volatility is vitality, because if you sell options, you like the pump and dumps, the dumps and pumps, because you get to make big money fast if you know what you're doing. You could also lose big money fast if you don't. So one of the ways he decided to buy Bitcoin was through convertible bonds, right? He decided to sell those to the bond market at 0% coupons, like you mentioned. And two things happened. One, it increased the volatility of the stock, because those bond holders, they buy shorts to kind of cover their losses in case the stock really starts to drop. And they want to make sure they don't lose all their money. Even though he's guaranteeing the money, they also get the upside from the stock going up, but they get a downside protection through the shorts.
So just so I'm clear, because again, I really have no idea what he's doing. So he's selling a zero coupon bond, which means zero interest, but that bond is pegged to the stock price?
Yes, to the shareholder price. There's that's why it's convertible at a certain share price. They can
it's a convertible zero.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Though most recently he actually stopped doing the convertible bonds, but that's how he got started, going back into that realm, convertible bonds all the way to the top. And they were just selling more bonds, buying Bitcoin. Shareholders loved it. They kind of like MicroStrategy, like myself. They have that Tesla following where there's just these guys that
rabid.
Yeah. They are. Anything he does, they're excited about that. And so people bought in and they made a lot of money off of it. But more than anything, they sold the volatility, but they sold the upside as well. If Bitcoin goes up, people see the Bitcoin price go up, people start buying more into MicroStrategy because they see the company is worth more. Now,
Mm.
over the last few years, you haven't really been able to be able to get the value of Bitcoin because there was accounting rules that weren't allowing you to show them on your earnings as profits, right?
Right.
And that made things hard. Well, they changed the rules to a FASB accounting system. And that's why most recently they had an earnings call and they just dominated it. They were expected to get 10 cents negative. They got $32 EPS. That just blew people away.
Yeah, one of the largest beats ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
To keep going though on that, Mike. So now instead of doing convertible bonds, he moved on to ATM at the money. He was diluting the share price some because our market cap grew over to 100 billion, and he was buying Bitcoin with that money. And it was called this flywheel effect, where he took his money, bought Bitcoin, stock price went up because Bitcoin goes up, and it was this crazy money loop. They call it the infinite money loop that he was doing. So he's been doing that for a long time, especially the last 8 months. And if you follow the presidency at all, when this new administration was campaigning more on a pro Bitcoin strategy, that night after the president won, it doesn't matter your politics, but that night the stock pumped, right? Because they knew that Bitcoin now was going to be unleashed, and banks were now going to start accepting it more. Home loans were going to start accepting it as value, and FASB accounting was starting to be a real thing. And so that was a big deal. But I want to talk about this thing he just created. It's called preferable shares, preferable stocks, right? So it's called Strike, Strife, Stride, right? They have 4 of them.
Wow.
The 4th one, but these are all targeted at specific areas to get money from the bond market, or my favorite one is Strike, STRC. You can't buy it on Robinhood because it's a preferred. You got to go on Schwab or Fidelity or something like that. And this one is to tap the cash market, right? A lot of people have money in high yield savings at 4% or 4.25. Well, this one gives you 9% right now. And it has very little volatility. People don't know about this yet. That's what I'm saying. If you look at what MicroStrategy is doing and Michael Saylor, they're trying to get money from the bond market and pump it into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's only a $2.7 trillion thing right now, right? A capital asset. But obviously the bond market's crazy. But even more so, this strike is going after the cash. There's $8 trillion in cash in savings right now making money. But what do we know? Fed says rates are cutting, or they haven't said it yet, but we believe in Polymarket.
Yeah, we believe it's coming. Yeah, Polymarket believes.
Yeah. So if you look this weekend, the Bitcoin price is starting to explode. You see 121, 122, all the way from 113 earlier this last week, because they're anticipating this new change. And that's pretty exciting stuff if you're a Bitcoiner like I am. This is a good weekend. I got my shirt just hot. This, like I'm ready to go.
So let's play this out. So again, one of the things, again, I know nothing about Michael Saylor. I've seen, I don't know, probably 10 hours of his interviews. He's very articulate, but this certainly, this flywheel seems to be very dependent on Bitcoin continuing to increase. As long as Bitcoin trends higher, this works. I get the math,
right?
But that's not guaranteed, right? At some point, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate the other side. Let's say Bitcoin tanks to 90 out of nowhere for some reason.
Of course, yeah.
That, I don't understand how that doesn't like compound the negativity, right? Because if you're buying levered all the way up and then it tanks 30%, that could hurt, I would imagine, but maybe I'm missing something.
Well, our leverage is actually really low in MicroStrategy. I'm saying it like I'm part of the company, but I'm not. I guess I'm a shareholder. But
you're a shareholder. Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Our MNAV is down to 1.5. We actually converted most of the bonds.
I don't know what that is. Tell people what that is.
It's just like, I guess, the debt to value of the stock and what people see it as for its value allows it to show its worth. So our leverage is down to like only 20-30%. The stock or the Bitcoin price could go down to about 27 grand and we're still okay. We could pay all.
Wait. It could go all the way to 27 grand and you're okay.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's almost 100, almost 100 grand. Okay.
Right. And I don't believe that to happen. And I don't think it will.
No, I don't think
yeah.
That would be crazy. I could see 90, but 27, that's probably pretty unlikely.
Oh, very unlikely. And I think the winter season is over. I don't think that volatility drop is going to go down like that ever again.
Okay.
Because of the states, because of the countries. But most of all, I just think the cash is going to come in. And most of all,
well, let me ask you this question. So let's assume that Michael Saylor is onto something. And I'm not saying he is. I like playing these games. Why wouldn't some other company simply copy what he did?
Well, oh man, this is a great question, but it's also a great answer if you own the stock of MicroStrategy. Because it's something that is a limited supply, if you already own the limited supply, you're only pumping the MicroStrategy bag. So if you have
Sure.
620,000 coins and more companies buy Bitcoin, it just makes the value of Bitcoin go up.
So
So
first mover advantage, clearly to strategy.
yeah,
Totally get it. But
yep,
again, that doesn't answer my question. If it's so profitable,
yeah.
why haven't we seen a MicroStrategy light? Or maybe, given Bitcoin's limited supply, to your point, and the fact that MicroStrategies has the bag already, maybe that's why Tom Lee and others have decided to go after Ether. And I actually heard Tom Lee say the other day that ETH's on their 2017 Bitcoin. If that probably means something to you, but he's like, hey, there could be a 10x moment out there. And again, I'm just quoting Tom Lee. I have no idea about any of this stuff. But it seems that maybe what people are saying is strategy won the game for Bitcoin. Nobody else can play. So they're going to the second tier, maybe? I don't know.
See, I don't agree with that. As someone who's researched it, there are other companies, Metaplanet in Japan, Mara
Okay.
Holdings, Similar Scientific. So there's other countries copycatting. Even
Oh,
GameStop
okay.
recently said that they're doing the convert.
Well, yeah, they're okay. All right. So there are others. I'm not aware of them. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of. There's over 150 other companies that are doing this. If you know anything about
Wow.
Tesla,
150?
oh
Jesus.
yes, oh
Okay.
yes, but only a small percent in the S&P so far. So I
Got it.
believe Tesla has billions in Bitcoin as well.
Yeah,
And
but Tesla did it. Tesla did it for there's this is where this is where Bitcoiners go wild to me. They kind of take everybody as equal. I don't think you can look at what Tesla's done and strategy and say it's the same thing.
oh no,
I think what Tesla did is they took a shot, a one-time shot. They did it to put it on their balance sheet. They did it to protect against fiat currency. They're not going out and leveraging their balance sheet like Saylor is. So they're in my opinion, they are not the same.
right. Oh no, they're not the same, and that's why I think Saylor outthought the whole market. I don't think anyone is as smart as
Yeah.
Saylor. I'll be honest with you. He's an MIT graduate. His roommate was Fong Lee, who's also part of strategy and a big wig in there.
Nice.
But if
Okay.
you understand what I'm telling you about the preferred stocks,
Yeah.
he's saying, I don't care if anybody else buys. I hope you do. I really want you to do. But
Yeah.
I am going to
He's
take
got his stack already. He's good.
it's not even about the stack. He knows that he's going to keep buying at higher prices and it's always going to push the market up. And as that, he has the infinite fiber loop going. And so
Mm.
from the ATM of the preferred stocks, just like people invest, they want their 9%, right? You'd love 9% if you knew
Sure.
guaranteed. Well, that's what that one is. There's also specific ones for insurance companies.
Mm.
And all his plan is he's going to suck liquidity out of that, buy more Bitcoin. And as the Bitcoin price goes higher, people tend to have FOMO, right? They tend to
Of
see what
course. Oh yeah, they line up. Yeah, they don't buy at lows, buddy. They buy at highs. That's no question.
oh yeah, even as you said, if it drops to 90, I remember praying that it goes to 90. You know what I mean? So the fact that it's at 121,000 today, 122,000, I
Crazy.
think that's a huge deal. But more importantly, I don't think anything is guaranteed. I'm not a
Yeah.
maxi myself. I run a YouTube channel, Lead Parade Hodl, but I'm not a maxi where I'm going to die with it. I'm never going to sell it. I'm not Michael Saylor in terms of that.
Mhm.
I believe that money is attracted to energy in terms of what brings value. And right
Yeah.
now, Bitcoin is bringing value. As interest rates go down, the housing market's going to bring value as well, I think, and that's going to
Mhm.
get pumped as well because it's going to bring in new buyers. So nothing
Yeah.
is guaranteed, but you try to forecast what are good catalysts to make it improve and invest that way.
Oh, I love that. I love that rational and balanced approach. That's why you're here. It makes a lot of sense. So I guess I'll ask you this question because again, I see Tom Lee clearly trying to copy Saylor. Has that hit your radar at all, or you're just Bitcoin and Bitcoin only?
Well, I am Bitcoin and Bitcoin only myself, and I understand what Tom Lee's doing. He's trying to recreate what was already done for
Hmm.
Ethereum. I'm not sure it's going to work the same way. If you understand now some of the more details of the layer twos and things that Ethereum brings, they
Yep.
actually lack some older technology.
Hmm.
And a newer technology is Solana. It does what everything Ethereum does, but like 10 times better. It even
Okay.
brings in 100 times more money than Ethereum does. It's just a matter of market cap. I think name brand is Ethereum. You think of it as Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, you know, so Ethereum
Yeah.
has a name brand. And if someone like Tom Lee throws his name in there, or some people in the administration, they throw their name on it.
Cachet,
Yeah. But like Eric Trump, he's a part of a Bitcoin treasury company in Metaplanet, you know, on the board.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So a lot of them are, you know, Besant and Howard Lutnick, and even the guy who just stepped down from not the IRS, but I'm trying to think of who it was, but I can't think of his name. But they all kind of see what's coming, I think. But again, nothing's guaranteed in this world. You just kind of read the tea leaves and you invest based on what you believe. And I believe with these new preferred stocks and MicroStrategy, there's a lot more safety into it, and the volatility is going to decline because of it.
Love it. Nick, well, you have a YouTube channel. Again, this is your domain of expertise. I appreciate you giving us 20 minutes or so to have me ask stupid questions. But if somebody wanted to go deeper, Nick, where do we go? Where do they go?
Yeah, I created a YouTube channel strictly because I was inspired by everything you've taught me, to be honest with you. It's called Lead, Pray, HODL. It's on YouTube, and I'm doing a daily HODL. It's all about Bitcoin.
Nice.
And so I'm going under my realm. Like I said, I did real estate. I still would do real estate. I love real estate, but I also love Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of similarities from that. Maybe one day we'll discuss that. But I just
we'll do that next week or the week after.
Perfect. I appreciate your inspiration.
Take care, buddy. Have a great day. Thanks again.